Today's episode of Game Geeks is sponsored by DriveThruRPG.com. Hey folks, welcome back to Game Geeks. I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Today's review, we are going to be talking about the horror toolkits for the Savage Worlds system. As this is a DriveThruRPG product, these are available for a limited time after the initial airing of this episode for a discount using the coupon code see below. There are two horror toolkits. There is the horror Bestiary toolkit, which is all about the critters you can run into, and the GM's toolkit, which is a combination gear and sort of how to structure Savage Worlds to run your own game. So let's go ahead and start getting into these a little bit. These are obviously for Savage Worlds, but there is some stuff in here that you could use for ideas to pull out and put in a game of your own. The first thing it talks about are different ways or different settings in which you can apply horror. Interestingly enough, horror is one of the few genres that really spans almost every other type of gaming, from espionage to sci-fi to fantasy, even into supers. Horror is a piece of what's going on. Maybe that's because we all react so primally to fear and to being scared. It really is easy to evoke that emotion in a game as opposed to romance or love or all that other icky stuff that gives you cooties. Going into it, it talks about how to use the entire idea of horror. Does everyone know that the monsters are real? Is it more secret? There's a nice little gear toolkit in there, sort of like stuff you'd expect from, say, Blade or Underworld. Silver weapons, garlic weapons, ultraviolet emitting weapons. My personal favorite in here is the Atomic Ghost Hunting Pack and the Ghost Trap. Gee, I wonder where they got those from. Yes, boys and girls, with these you can use Savage Worlds to run your own Ghostbusters type game. It also talks about ways of setting up different types of magic, magic books, how to incorporate cults into your game, how to deal with bargaining with the demons, making deals with them, a whole new bunch of spells, curses, new equipment, new items, different ways of approaching magic items. So it's not just, it's a sword that does +1 to hit and +2 damage. It actually has some other effects that go with it. Designing new edges to go into your game, how you should sort of balance those in. Now the Bestiary toolkit is, in my opinion, where this really comes alive. If you can imagine it, and if it's ever popped up in either an A, B, C, or Z rated horror film, there's a good chance it's in here. From animated scarecrows to ventriloquist dummies to demonic children, zombies, black coachman horses, everything, and greater demons, minor demons, dark gods, this whole way of working this in to be a very, very useful tool for introducing a straight horror game and straight horror themes into your game. What could you use this for? Let's say you wanted to do horror, but you didn't want to use the really fantastic Realms of Cthulhu that's out there. Well, your options could include Supernatural. If you wanted to do a version of the Supernatural role-playing game using Savage Worlds instead of the Margaret Weis productions, here's your chance. You could do Ghostbusters, like I said. You could sort of add in some of the supers powers from either Necessary Evil or the Superpowers Compendium, which we'll be reviewing later, that sort of bring in the Blade or Underworld approach to doing a horror game. And if nothing else, you can just do your bog standard street level Fighting the Forces of Darkness game using Savage Worlds. This is a wonderful product, or rather products. These are two wonderful products that are very useful for introducing themes that scare, monsters from all sorts of different mythologies, genres to all throw in together so that you could really run in either an episodic or a serial monster hunting, monster slaying game at almost any power level you want. As this is a DriveThruRPG product, these are available for a limited time after the initial broadcast of this episode using the coupon code see below for a discount off of the price through DriveThruRPG.com. Once again, these are the horror toolkits for Savage Worlds, and these are really great if you want to introduce a horror theme or a horror approach to your game. For Game Geeks, I'm your host, Kurt Wiegel. Good day and good gaming.
We average 9 new titles a day. That's over 60 a week. And we've got well over 15,000 RPG titles online right now. DriveThruRPG, the one true source for RPGs.